So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the.
All right, guys, welcome back. Wednesday, February 14th, market close. Been a busy afternoon here. I'm just sitting back down to the computer, working on some backyard projects. Had to go around and find some more pallets to rebuild our compost system. It's about halfway done. Went by the guitar store, looked at some guitars, and now we're back. And I spy with my little eye a little movie company running here in the second half of the day. AMC is up 7.5%, 482. GameStop up 1.3%, 1436. Palantir up 5%. SPY is up 0.5%. What happened with our morning runners? Data C still up 540%, but trailing down from $20 down to $9.50 right now. And Early Works has bled off about 50% of its run up today. Still up 188% from market close yesterday. Not too shabby. What else? There was that other stock. What was that one that I was talking with my good friend Dirty Mayo about? Where's Dirty Mayo's message to me? He wanted to make sure I knew that his stock was running today, and that's great. I love to see all of your stocks run. TELO, that was it. TELO. Up 105% today. Booyah, if you are in that one. 549. 569 was the absolute bottom tick low this morning. Mostly trading around $7, but now in after hours, running up to $20. Perhaps if those insiders were responsible for some of that dumping on day one, perhaps they're done, and now we're getting some real buying pressure. So good news on that. Always like to see everybody winning. Anya, good morning. Good afternoon. Slot Massacre, good afternoon. Broke Ape, good afternoon. Max, what's up? Blazing, howdy, howdy. The voice chat is open if any of you guys want to, that are in the Discord, want to come in and say your little piece. You're welcome to join us. Let me make sure I have desktop audio enabled for today's live stream. It looks like it is. I need some water. I've been sweating my ass off. It's like 60 degrees out there. Hauling pallets around, shoveling dirt, laying some brick. I decided to do a brick foundation on my compost bin this year. The previous one, made out of recycled pallets, lasted about 3 years. And I'm going to do an experiment since I'm rebuilding it. I got all new pallets, and I had some pavers, some 4x4 and 4x6 leftover pavers that have just been sitting in a corner of my yard for the last several years. And I decided to do a paver foundation for the new pallets, and we'll see if that can extend the life of them. Why pallets, you say? Because why buy something if you can pick up pallets for free, recycle and repurpose them? It's just a compost. Doesn't need to be fancy. Brocape says, bless you, Tony. I wish it was 60 degrees here. Yeah, yesterday when I was out there working Brocape in lunchtime hour, it was probably 60 to 65, and I literally my shirt was soaked from all the shoveling and the prep work that I did yesterday. I'm hoping to have it finished today. If it's not finished, it'll be completely finished by tomorrow. I gotta put the doors on. Gotta hinge it up. Wire does last forever, Anya. If I could find some free wire, I would build it out of wire. I do have some leftover sheet metal that I'm thinking about lining the inside with. We'll see. It's a project. It's an experiment. We'll see what works best. What else we got going on here? I've got to in the next hour set up my watch list for the earnings that we're going to be watching after hours today. I know some of y'all want to know. I saw Anya already. What is making AMC run today? It's always been our theory, and Anya, I haven't seen you in a lot of the voice chats that we've been having in Discord, but we've been talking about this for months now, that we were going to be picking up AMC. When I say we, this is not instructions for you guys. I'm just telling you, our DD was when it bottoms out somewhere around $4 that we were going to be picking it up, and that we expected some run up prior to earnings. What that price is, I can't tell you. Is it $5? Is it $4.80? Is it $6? Is it $8? I don't know. There's a lot of still market risk in the system. There's still a risk that AMC could drop an announcement about another private offering or more dilution. I don't think in my own probability analysis that is high risk before earnings, but I'm not ignoring it as a possibility. And so there's always downside risk in speculative plays. Keep that in mind. Do your own DD, make your own decisions. Don't get frickin' instructions from me, guys. I'm just sharing you my thoughts, my opinions, and the little group that we work with in sharing DD, sharing opinions from a reasonable, non-emotional, non-conspiratorial trader's perspective. Reading the filings, looking at the chart, looking for resistance and support, and trying to game out what the company's doing and what institutions are doing. We literally talk about this all day, every day. Every time there's a new change in info, we dissect it to the nth degree. So I'm going to cross my fingers right along with you, because I'm in the green on my position now. The bulk of it being bought around 420. I'm going to cross my fingers that this green keeps on going up for a few more days. We'll see. We shall see. Selling Booth, good afternoon to you. Anya says compost needs aeration. Yes, Anya, you need nitrogen, carbon, water, and oxygen. And I've got a big 3-foot compost thermometer. And I'll tell you, Anya, I pull the compost out about once a month, and I just take my pitchfork and I pull it out to air it and mix it up a little bit, and I'll leave it out overnight. And the chickens just get in there and they tear it up with their feet looking for bugs and stuff. I don't even need to mix it, Anya. They get in there and they do their business helping me mix it. They're great little helpers. And then I layer it back in, wet it down a little bit, and that shit will get on the thermometer. You've got your not composting, and hot. It'll practically go off the scale once you mix it up, aerate it, and water it down again. Funny story. Should I tell this story? Yeah, I'll tell it. The very first 2 chickens I had, one of them got sick and died. And just as an experiment, this was 3 years ago, she loved that compost pile. So I buried her in the compost pile. 30 days later, as I was going to mix it. Not a bone, not a feather. She just got incinerated in there. Incinerated and ate by bugs or whatever's in your compost. Bacteria. Not a damn bone. Nothing. Blazin says, Ants Trade's algorithm finally working out. Everything's perfect, Blazin. He was not wrong. He was just early. Maximus says, a voice through my wall said, load the boat, load the truck, load the garage. I don't... Oh, man. What we said, and I hope I'm right. I don't know if I'll be right, but what we have been saying for the past couple of weeks is that we feel that in the coming weeks, there's going to be people coming on this channel, or you'll see them out on social media saying, I wish I would have bought more at 380. Just like when Ape hit 68 cents. And I know some of you guys, Grandpa, Mediocre, and many others of you that were talking with us every day, freaking loaded the boat and made a fuck ton of recovery of your losses as it went up to $2 or whatever it ended up at, $2.30, I forget. I do think that wherever it bottoms out, hopefully 380 or whatever it hit, 52-week low on AMC is 358. I just have a feeling there's going to be some people saying, I wish I would have bought more at 358. But we'll cross fingers and we'll see what happens. Every day's a new day. There's no news that I know of that's driving it up. I'm just, as I said to the folks in the Discord, back in December, when the dilution is done, if the dilution is done, expect it to slowly over a period of months creep back up. That's the normal pattern. And we'll see. Maybe I'll be wrong and everybody can come back and laugh. Matt says, why is AMC pumping if earnings is going to be bad for this quarter next? I think, $3.50, $3.80, $4 is a little bit oversold, is my opinion. So I don't know that it's pumping as much as the negativity and the selling pressure is perhaps behind us, and we're getting a little bit more natural price action. The short interest also has been rising, and as we have been talking about for the past couple of days, in fact, I think I said this in Discord last night, if we can just keep on getting incremental gains every day, some of these smaller retail shorts, the not well collateralized ones, the people like us, but they're the opposite of us, they're short, just your average Joe trader can't tolerate a 7% run up. They're going to get out and say, fuck, maybe I screwed it up. The bigger institutional guys, they're not going to sweat 7% in one day. They have plenty of collateral to sit it out and hope that it goes down, or maybe try and drive it down. We'll see. It's going to be that battle between anybody that's willing to short it and any institutions or retail that are willing to buy it. I have a very realistic price target of where I think it's headed before earnings. I don't even want to tell you it's so low. But if you're in our Discord, you kind of know where we're at. And if it hits that price target, my intention is to probably sell all or part of it as we get closer to earnings, because I'll be up a considerable amount for having held it a couple months or a couple weeks in some cases, depending on which lot of my buys that we're talking about. And then if the earnings is poor for Q4 and it dips, then I'll wait for it to come back down and rebuy, and I'll be able to buy twice as much. Again. Sufyan says AMC's moving because Vanguard bought a lot of shares. Sufyan, you must not be following me on Twitter. But it is true. 'Tis true, Sufyan. We got the 13G from Vanguard showing that they're back up over 8%. And I posted on Twitter for you guys and in the community tab on YouTube a perspective of Vanguard going all the way back to 2016 so that you can see how I analyze this stuff. They have always held around 8, 9, 10% of the float of AMC every year. And then when the ape conversion happened in August of last year, that crushed their ownership percentage because all that ape got added into the float. So starting after that conversion, late August, they have been slowly adding. And I verified that by looking at 13F's NP filings and now the 13G. And I can see their share count going up since September. They've slowly been adding, and now they're back up over 8%. So someone was saying, well, where was the buying pressure where they added 14 million shares? They've been doing it intelligently, buying just enough every day to not majorly increase the price and enable themselves to get a sweet little pickup on some cheap shares. But I think they're back where they want to be. Most of Vanguard's ownership is in ETFs, exchange traded funds, and they were just rebalancing because they had dropped with the conversion down to 3%, and now they're back where they need to be. Other people were asking me about voting rights. I don't really care. I'm not analyzing it from are they voting the shares or not. They're in ETFs. So my supposition would be some of those shares are loaned out, but the short interest is relatively low. So you know what it is, 12%. Yeah, probably a percentage of their shares are loaned out. That's how they generate income. I don't care about their voting rights. John, you are correct. The 13G, if I'm not mistaken, it should be as of December 31st. And that 13G is a summary of all of their ETFs plus any shares that they're holding for themselves. And there's a dozen or more Vanguard funds that hold AMC. We could pull up Fintel and look at it, but doesn't really matter. BlackRock also has quite a few ETFs. And if I recall correctly, typically BlackRock is holding more shares in their own little bank. And Vanguard is almost fully loaded in ETFs. Big 57 says dark pools are the reason there's no price movement on big orders, buy or sell. Could be, my friend. Wired Ape, what's up? He says, in my opinion, they were creating an options market, which causes large holders like that to buy and sell the underlying equity. Could be that too. Broke Ape says, Tony, would 26% short interest be worth watching on any stock? I like anything over 20%, Broke Ape. It tells me two things. Number one, when I see high short interest, it tells me that someone way smarter than me sees something that I probably don't see, and they think it's a good short. So I got to start with that in my head. Then I got to ask myself, if they are willing to short it, and they're so convinced that it's going to be driven down, and they're actively trying to drive it down, what could be a catalyst to overcome that? Is there going to be some good news? Is there a low float and some FOMO retail piling in could just drive it up? That's what you got to ask yourself. So I want you to think of two things. Why are they shorting it? Is it overvalued? Is there some bad news that we're not? I'm just talking every stock. It's part of my dashboard on all of these stocks that I look at with you guys. If I see high short interest, that's a red flag that I need to analyze the play. But it's also an interesting flag that if you get it cheap enough and things change, then you could get a nice little spike. What else we got? TELO's halted now. TELO 1537. Big gap down from 20 bucks. What the heck happened? I feel like we were just talking about that 10 minutes ago. Dropped from almost $21 to 15 bucks. Why is this thing? Oh, here we go. Like, why is this window so small? What else we got going on today? Amazon up 1%. We'll look at some blue chips in a second and some news. But I want to check out some of the other retail plays. Finger up 4.5%. GTII flat. Hawaiian Electric. Boys, those of you that are playing Hawaii Electric, 1242 call out. I'm very interested in possibly picking some of this up as it gets closer to 12. Again, a very speculative play, because what happens with HE, it's going to be hero or zero depending on this lawsuit that they have, trying to hold them accountable for the wildfires in what was it, Lahaina, Ho. But quite a few people have been playing the pick it up cheap and sell covered calls on it strategy. And I've been waiting for it to come back down. It ran all the way up to 16 bucks here just a month ago. So if I can pick it up cheap, I was playing it. I got out and then it ran a little too high for me. So I've been waiting a few weeks for it to come back down. I'd like to get in at 12 bucks or lower. Almost there. I've been waiting 6 weeks now. Hycroft up 1.5%. We did talk about Hycroft this morning. Why aren't they mining? If you've watched any of my videos in the last 2 years, you know exactly why they're not mining. But for some reason, people are still asking that on space calls. Why isn't Hycroft mining? Guys, they tell you in every damn quarterly filing why they're not mining and what it's going to take to get there. We'll know later this year if they will resume mining, if they're going to build a milling plant, how much that damn milling plant is going to cost, and then we will find out who's going to pay for it and how. And I'm staying away from this play until I know the answers to all of those questions. My biggest concern, what am I bullish about? Hycroft, a lot of gold and silver under the ground. We know that. What am I worried about on Hycroft? The necessity to build a $500,000 to $1 billion milling plant that's going to take a couple years to build, maybe. And who's going to pay for it? Dilution, loans. How? Where's that money coming from? When I know the answers to that, then I can have a better feel what's going to happen to the price action and what's next with Hycroft. And that none of that is my opinion. That's all in Hycroft's filings. I've carefully gone over that once a quarter with you guys for about 2 years. Mullen up 1.5%. NVIDIA up 1.7%. Palantir up 5%. Tesla 187 up 2%. I did snag a little bit of Tesla a few days ago around 182, so we'll see if it holds in this range. I sure wish it would, but I'd love for it to drop around 150 or 115 again. Corey says, yeah, blazing 1150. That'd be beautiful for Hawaii Electric. I'd be all over that. Crypto miners are doing well today. Yes, with Bitcoin running today, that's typically what we expect to see, right? 50, still hanging out around 52,000 for Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin's up 5% and Mara is up 5 or more than 5. Typically they run more than Bitcoin. It's up 14. So this is kind of what we've observed, right? If you have a run in crypto, the miners run a higher percentage, but if crypto starts falling, they also fall a higher percentage. So play that game carefully. And I was talking to one of my buddies today, one of my crypto buddies, not in the Discord, and he said, Tony, you better be loading up because the halving is coming. Better be loading up on that Bitcoin, Tony. So we're keeping a close eye on it, guys. ZJYL 899 up 5.5%. And let's finish up by looking at Lyft and Uber. Lyft having their earnings yesterday. 1644 up 35% on news that they expect positive free cash flow this year. And Uber announcing today that they were going to do, I think, $7 billion in share buybacks, crushing it also. Uber is now 3 quarters in to positive earnings, 3 quarters back-to-back of positive earnings, turning the ship around, and now announcing a $7 billion share buyback, up 13% to $78.22. They might actually be able to get me interested in these stocks after shunning them for years. Anya, Hycroft is focusing on worker safety. That's kind of a running joke. They always lead everything with, we're just proud to say we have a perfect safety record. Yeah, because you're not doing anything. All I see is, here's our employee, Bob. He likes fishing. I bet he's spending a lot more time fishing than anything else right now. I'm being tongue-in-cheek here, not trying to be mean. But they're hiring contractors to do this core sampling. And I don't really know what the team is doing at Hycroft, but probably some preventative maintenance. I sure hope that we get some good news from Hycroft later this year, that they're done with all the core sampling and they present us with the feasibility study like they've been saying that they would. They're right on schedule. If you've been reading the filings, they're right on schedule with everything they said they were going to do. That by the middle to second half of this year, we'd get the first update, the real update of what's going to happen with Hycroft. And that's why I've said if you are a hater on Hycroft or a hater on AMC, I understand the plays down. That's why I haven't been in it. But they are not mining, they're drilling, they're exploring, they're getting ready for the next phase. The silver and gold under the ground that they have to remove is a different ore type. The rock is different than what they were excavating and putting on a leach pad. They need to handle, treat this other ore type differently. That's why they need to build the milling plant. So let's hope that everything goes well. Let's hope that silver and gold prices stay high and that they can move to the next phase. And then we see where the price goes. Then we see for AMC, was the investment worth it? We'll find out. I think if there's good news, you could see, at least temporarily, a massive spike in the price of Hycroft. Someone posted a chart, starts with the L. What is that damn curve called for mining stocks? I'm not a mining stock expert. I just devour Hycroft filings. Even back before, when AMC went into Hycroft, I went years back into all of the data from Hycroft. So I'm sort of a Hycroft expert. I'm not a gold mining expert, but there's a curve for mining stocks where before you're drilling, you get all this hype and it goes up. Then kind of the reality hits that it's going to be a while before they start getting anything out of the ground, and it goes down. And then they get to the point where they're announced they're going to mine, and the price shoots up and they start mining, and then slowly the price starts coming back down again. I guess that's the typical pattern. If they really have a solid output and gold and silver prices are going higher and higher, then that price may not come down. Mining chart curve. Let me see if I can Google the name of it. Yeah, this kind of is what I was talking about. Junior exploration companies. You got your speculation. You got your discovery. You got the orphan period. That's where we're at right now. The orphan period. The prices being orphaned by everybody. Big institutions aren't interested until Hycroft really says where they're going next. It's the Lassonde curve right here at the top. Lassonde. I have no idea who Lassonde is. Maybe I'll look that up when we're done here. But we're in the orphan period. If they really move on to the next phase, then you get into the phase where institutional and strategic investment happens. And then once the mine is operating, typically, according to the Lassonde curve, the price will come back down a little bit to the operational fair value. So I've seen that chart thrown out a couple times, and it kind of seems to fit what's going on with Hycroft right now. Rolf, what's going on? If you want it, then you should have put a stonk on it. Oh man. Don't make me start pumping the fist, Rolf. All right, in news today, well, let's see what end of day news we have on CNBC. All right, here we go. The Lyft CEO is taking the blame for the extra zero that slipped into earnings. The buck stops here. David Risher taking the blame. During the investor call yesterday, it was soaring, and then CFO Aaron Brewer said, "Oops, and we had a boo-boo in our press release." David Risher took responsibility and says it was super frustrating for everyone on the team. God, please, I hope that whoever had calls on that thing made some money and got the hell out yesterday, because that was a hell of a rug pull once they corrected that in the call. Lifted said they would see margin expansion of 500 basis points, a huge increase. And during the call, CFO Aaron Brewer said that should have been half a percentage, 50 basis points. So I doubt Mr. Risher was the one that wrote the press release, but I respect that he's taking ownership for the boo-boo. When a team member identified the problem, Risher said he could see her jaw drop. Ouch. Here's the headline we talked about this morning on the Uber 7 billion share buyback. Not a whole lot of other news. All of our indexes are green, which is nice to see. A welcome break from yesterday. Europe closed all in the green. Gold's at 2,000. Silver at 22.39. Blazin says, Tony, what do you think about the logic that Evergrande bankruptcy could mark the bottom for the China markets? That is a good question, Blazin. My general thought, and I'm not going to say I'm an expert on Chinese markets, but just from reading, I don't know that we are completely done with the systemic risk in the Chinese real estate market. There are other troubled real estate companies in China. I need to do a refresh on that. But yeah, CQQQ has had a little rebound since February 5th. You are correct. Good call. Where does it go from here? I don't know. I need to spend an evening catching up on China news, Rolf. As you know, I'm not that excited about the Evergrande news. As far as my more pragmatic, unemotional outlook on it, this was all factored in 2 years ago. The bonds were evaporated a long time ago. There's nobody getting margin called on them. There's no institution hanging on to them as collateral. They were wiped out. That was useless collateral a long time ago. It's a non-event to any institution in the United States. But if the China market and other real estate companies continue falling, then, there's more exposure out there. But Evergrande itself, for me, was a non-event at this point. Not a popular opinion. I get it. That's just my opinion. Looking at the value of the bonds, knowing that they're junk status, no one's going to give you any credit for collateral on those bonds. They're not even rated, I don't think. So that's why I just say it's a non-event at this point. At this juncture. Anya says, don't they have someone proofread before releasing the 8K? You would think Lyft would have someone proofread it, Anya. I bet they were just so excited, snorting lines. We're going to tell them we have free cash flow for a year. Yeah, baby. They were high-fiving it in the break room. And they just didn't see that. Should have caught it, though. You don't see that kind of mistake very often, Anya. That was a major boo-boo. Yeah, Jeffrey, you're right. You're right, my friend. The Lyft correction was the run up was after hours. So if you had call options, you saw all that money coming in. You're like, please just hold till the morning. And then they made the correction. Couldn't do anything, right? Thank you. I didn't think about that, but you're exactly right. That kills me, man. That when I used to play, and I still do sometimes, earnings options plays, and it's always that really nervous hold overnight and pray that it holds for a couple minutes in the morning or keeps going in the morning so you can just get out of your call options. Michael, I have seen the Deadpool 3 trailer. I saw someone post on Twitter, and I don't know if this is true. I think someone posted that it's the most watched trailer ever. Is that true? Did you guys see that? I personally love the Deadpool movies, the humor and just everything about it. I'm not a huge superhero movie watcher. I mean, I go to most of them, but it's not like my preferred movie. I actually like real filmmaking. But the humor and the comedy in Deadpool and the action sequences are usually well done. I find it to be one of my favorites. So I'm looking forward to that one. I want y'all to do me a favor while we're here all together. We got 20 minutes till market close. I was looking with my wife last night at what movies we wanted to see between now and the end of the month. We got Bob Marley, One Love on the list. That is opening today. Probably, she'll want to go see that Lisa Frankenstein movie. We watched the trailer for that, and of course we got Dune 2 coming out on March 1st. But here's my favor I'd like you to ask. Open up your AMC app or go to the AMC website in your local area, and I want you to pick your biggest theater for AMC and check on March 1st or March 2nd, that weekend, and let me know if you see anything weird. Because in my local area right now, as of last night, I was looking at 2 theaters. We have 3 here. I checked 2, and they each have 9 screens, and there was only 2 movies showing at one, 3 movies showing at another, and not on every screen. Like Dune 2, they had 1 screen with 5 times. And I don't know if that was just a bug in the app last night. I don't know if they haven't populated March 1st weekend yet, but that just seemed a little weird to me. It's only 2 weeks away. Why do we have 2 theaters with 9 screens only showing 2 movies? And the third one, the third movie was that, whatever that TV show is that they're showing episodes 4 through 6. Yeah, Anya, I don't know if you saw me post a couple nights ago. One of my local theaters, I was going to book our, it was Sunday night. I was going to book our Anyone But You viewing on Monday, the 12th. And Sunday night, it said this theater is closed for unexpected maintenance. And I was like, that is weird. Like, I was just there watching a movie Sunday at noon, and now here it is Sunday evening, and they say that's closed. And I forgot to go check why the theater was closed. I was going to do a drive-by. But anyways, we went on Monday evening to go watch Anyone But You. and I had just completely forgot about it. It was open again, and I was talking to the manager who was serving us our champagne, and she just mentioned it. She's like, "Yeah, we had to close early last night." And I said, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that. What happened?" And it wasn't something specific to our theater. She said that someone cut an electrical line or ran into a junction box or something. She said this whole area was without power. And we had like our last screenings of the night, the place just went pitch black and the emergency generators kicked in and we had to give people vouchers to come back. So that was the story on that. If you're in my Discord and you're wondering what happened, it wasn't AMC's fault. Rolf says Indianapolis, the biggest AMC is 17 screens. You've got Dune Part 2. How many showings, how many screens for Dune Part 2 does it look like, Rolf? The Holdovers, one time only. Oppenheimer, one time only. Barbie, one time only. Ordinary Angels, 2 times. That seems low for 17 screens, Rolf, from what you're typing there. But yes, The Chosen, yeah, that's at TV. The Chosen episodes 4 through 6, right? Dune has 6 screens. Okay. Well, I'm going to check, since you're telling me that, I'm going to check on my local area and see right now if they have updated anything for maybe more screenings on Dune. I would expect that they would load up all the screens with Dune. Let's see if they made any change from yesterday. I'm going to change my date on my app to March 1st. This is what we got. We got 4 screenings for Dune, 2 for Ordinary Angels, and 2 for The Chosen. What the heck? That's three auditoriums out of 9. Maybe they're just figuring out what they're going to do. All right. It looks like on the other theater, the dine-in theater, we have 2 auditoriums, 3. This movie's 2 hours and 46. So based on the screening times, it looks like there's at least 3 auditoriums showing Dune. We got 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different times you can see it. So we have 2 auditoriums showing Dune, and we have 1 showing Ordinary Angels out of 9. I'll keep you posted, but it seems weird to me. Keep on showing Barbie. Keep on showing Oppenheimer. Keep on showing Poor Things. Keep on showing The Holdovers. Keep on showing Out of Darkness. Lisa Frankenstein. Where's Lisa Frankenstein? Why isn't that in there yet? I'm just assuming they haven't updated something yet. Dan says, sorry, I'm listening in. Cooking Valentine's dinner naked. Too much information, Dan. Steak and a promise later. I don't know anything about The Chosen, Rolf. We are 10 minutes away from close. AMC's at 481, up 7%. The Spy still moving up strong to very strong. The last hour here of the day here. How's your portfolio doing, Greg? You must be killing it with those medical stocks. Oh, it's strong to very strong. Yeah. Wow. Keep on showing Sisu. Yeah, Sisu was a great movie. I haven't seen it come over to streaming yet. I was talking to my brother earlier today. He asked if we had any Valentine's plans. We don't. Our Valentine's was on Monday, since Scarlett typically works a 12 to 14 hour shift on Wednesdays. So no steak plans over here, Dan. But enjoy yours, please. Did I look at FLWS? Michael wants to know. I did not. Oh yeah, 1-800-Flowers. We talked about that. The what I said when we looked at it the other day was I want you guys to remind me, and I need to put a reminder to myself in late September of this year to go in and buy some. Because we were noticing that pattern of every year it dips around September and runs all the way through between February and May. And same thing, that was 2022. Same thing happened this year. Dropped in September. It's running now. And even, did that happen in 2021? What's up, Cooper? Did not happen so much in 2021, but it did also happen in 2020. The low September, a little bit lower in November, and then that run up as we approach Valentine's Day. So I'm going to make a mental note, maybe set a reminder on my phone to look at 1-800-Flowers starting in about September of this year. It could keep going up right now, but I want to get it at $5. What else happened today? We talked about the guitar shop. We talked about outdoor work. We talked about all of our stocks. We got some earnings coming up. Not any that I'm super excited about after market today. Anybody excited about any of these? Twilio, Cisco, maybe is probably the most important one. Fastly, HubSpot, Upwork, QuantumScape. I'm more interested in tomorrow's. And if I'm not too worn out and I get to bed at a decent hour tonight, I may do tomorrow's live stream in the morning, starting at an hour before the market opens. But if not, I'll be here when the market opens. If we have time and I'm able, we'll get up early and talk about all of these earnings in the morning. Crocs, John Deere, Yeti, Penn National, Wendy's, After Hours, DraftKings, Coinbase, Roku, Trade Desk, Applied Materials, DoorDash, Toast, and Open Door. And you've probably already heard me say this. You might have already seen it, but Friday before the market open, I have a live stream planned to listen in on the Cinemark earnings for our preview of what to expect next week, or in 14 days for AMC, 28th. Jim says, apparently the Russians can destroy all our space stuff. Where are you reading that, Jim? Is that on Fox News or Twitter? Top right. Yeah, I was just throwing a number out there. I don't know if flowers, 1-800 flowers will go back down to 5. It was at $5.98 in September of 2023. We'll see. Let's check back in September, I mean. 582 in 2022, 594 in 2023, but $39 in 2021. So yeah, there's a lot of upside potential. I'm just going to play it for the swing trade. I'll hold it for 4 or 5 months. If I can get it, whatever the low point is in September. It's all relative. And if you bought it cheap and you plan on holding it, then I hope for you it continues to go up. Jim says, Mike Turner, congressman, had a security briefing and thinks the info should be released. He was very cryptic. All right, I will check into that. Let's all play Crocs. I am proud to say, ladies and gents, that I have never in my life owned a pair of Crocs. I might have had a female or two try and buy me a pair over the past decade. Why don't you have any Crocs? No, not interested. I don't even like wearing flip-flops unless I'm at the pool. Andre says, we had some price action in MMAT today. Trying to remember what MMAT news I read recently, Andre. So many retail stocks to keep up with. I do know, you guys probably know this if you're following MMAT, that someone posted a couple days ago that they abandoned their main headquarters building. And then I heard someone mentioning on a call last night that I tuned in for about 2 minutes that apparently they released an explanation on that. I'm not all caught up on MMAT. Let's see what news we have here. But yeah, that's a nice run up, 38%. Only new news a day ago was that they regained compliance with NASDAQ listing requirements. Free float 4.7 million, and I'm not even going to bother checking what the short interest is. But congrats if you were able to buy the dip on that one. Don't forget to take your profits. I'm just going to, now we're 1 minute away from the market closing. I'm going to take a quick look at their dilution tracker on MMAT again. Broke Ape says his Crocs paper trade is up 276%. Here's the dilution tracker on MMAT. This is what concerns me. Like if I was up on this play, I'd be looking for an exit. Cash need high. They have negative half a month of cash left based on the quarterly cash burn of 12 million and estimated current cash of negative 2 million. Offering ability is high. This last bar over here. The dark blue is the current float. Everything in light blue and gray is their ability to dilute shareholders through what? Warrants. Warrants have I haven't gone through and read all these warrants, but typically it says the exercise price is $8 and $9.50, but a lot of times they have adjustable strike prices on the warrants. And I don't know that because I haven't read these. Let's see if it have any notes here. Yeah, it looks like here that they can reduce the exercise price. but in no event less than 0.07 cents, if that makes you feel better. The strike price will never be lower than 7 pennies. So just something to keep in mind if you're playing that one. Go read the warrant deals in detail and know what you're potentially faced with there. AMC closed up 6.8%. Now we do the daily nail-biting 8K watch. Every day I'm checking AMC and GameStop, particularly praying that there's no bad news 8Ks. So far, as of right now, 1 minute in, the only update we have is that Vanguard filing. Let me just double check GameStop. When I'm really, really expecting news, you guys know that are in the Discord, we'll sit here and refresh the Edgar for sometimes 4 hours. And every now and then we get those 8Ks, but we're not expecting any right now. Michael says, what happened to KHC this morning on earnings? Let me take a look and see if I recall. Kraft Heinz, yeah. We didn't pull it up. We just looked at all of them that announced in pre-market that we were watching. They all went down. And so I just assumed that they either had bad earnings or bad guidance. Let's see if we can pull something out of this here. A lot of headlines. Kraft Heinz declares a 40-cent dividend. Kraft Heinz says that consumers are pushing back on higher pricing. Yeah, not only are you raising the prices, you're shrinking the package size, you sons of bitches. We see through you. Shrinkflation. All right, here we go. Adjusted EPS outlook 301 to 307 for fiscal year 2024 versus a estimate of 303. That's in the ballpark. So the outlook was not horrible. Let's see what the actual earnings was. Kraft Heinz misses fourth quarter sales estimate. So that's what happened. But the guidance is in line, so. KHC. We got analyst price targets at $40 on average for Kraft. But we'll have to see in the next day or two if some of these analysts that follow Kraft issue updated estimates based. Probably not. I mean, if Hycroft said they were going to come in at 301 to 307 and analysts were already expecting 303, then these price targets are probably a good lock, around $40. So got about a 20% potential upside from where we're at today, which was a freaking my eyes. I thought it said 54% drop. No, 5.4% drop on the day. It could very well climb back up if the market doesn't crap out. I might even take a look at that. I love a good beaten down stock if I can convince myself that it's getting oversold. So I'll add that to my ever-growing DD list for this week. I don't remember what happened with Hasbro. Broke Ape. I've already slept since then. I don't think we spent a lot of time looking at that one the other day. It got a little spanking and then it came right back. And maybe that'll happen with Kraft. This is the daily chart. Went from 50 all the way down to 46 and then ended up today higher than 2 days ago. So Kraft may rebound. People may say that was too much of a sell-off on guidance for the year that meets expectations. Hasbro's getting killed by Disney's failures. That could be. And we did see that in Disney's earnings too, that their licensing revenue was down because the movies aren't there. Could be. That's a good theory, Jim. Let's see if we got any Cisco updates. That's the main one I care about. Womp, womp, womp. 4% negatory. God dang it. Stop it. Obey, computer. All right. Cisco, 12.8 billion in revenue, down 6% year over year. GAAP earnings per share, 65 cents, down 3% year over year. And non-GAAP earnings per share, 87 cents, down 1% year over year. Total software revenue is flat, and software subscription revenue up 5%. Well, that's why your sell-off. How have they been doing? 52-week high is $58. 52-week low is $44. I might, if this drops low enough in the next week, it might pique my interest. I don't think I've owned Cisco for over a decade. The last time I've looked at it seriously. Kind of a slow grower. This is a monthly chart going back to 2017. It took, about 5 years to double. Not too shabby. Let me check a couple of other things here real quick. Revenue is the type of chart that we want to see. Growing revenue on an annual basis. Net income also looks decent. They've been doing share buybacks, which is good. They have a long history of growing earnings. They got plenty of free cash flow. I mean, this is, if you can pick it up cheap enough, a looks like a pretty solid one to have in your portfolio. Working capital's fine. Cash position's good. Long-term debt, nothing but going down. I mean, there's a lot to like here. So that's another one to do some DDD, do some DD on Cisco and see if we could get a good entry on a play like this on a bad news sell-off. If we think that it is a short-term problem, and by short-term, you know, I'd be buying a Cisco for a 5-year play. And if I get lucky and it runs right back up, then that's just a bonus. I'm not in Cisco right now, but I will take a look at it, Michael, if they do a bigger sell-off than $47. All right. That is the main one that I wanted to check in on for after hours Cisco systems. I think we're going to probably go ahead and call it a day here for Wednesday. I want you guys to go make sure you buy your wife or significant other something nice, or plan something. Cook them a meal. Buy them some flowers, go buy a bottle of wine, and just give them your undivided attention with your devices off. They seem to like that. I know mine does. And we'll hit it fresh tomorrow morning. I've got about another hour's worth of outdoor projects to try and finish up the one project I'm working on and get a video done on that. So I'm going to try and do that before it gets dark here. And we will be back at it tomorrow morning, and I might do a live stream later tonight since my wife is working. So keep your eye out on that. Let's have a beer and have some fun. We're not so focused just on watching stock prices moving. We'll see after 7 o'clock where some of these meme stocks end up. I see some prime candles right here. All right. It always scares me when I'm on the 5-minute and you see this. Let me show you what I'm looking at. When you're on the 5-minute and you see that, you're like, holy hell, what happened? And then you switch to the 1 minute. You're like, all right, we've seen that play before. Just that momentary blip. Nothing to worry about. Jim says it's Ash Wednesday for no meat. Good reminder, Jim. Thank you. Dan, tisk, making that steak over there. Anya says, or a case of fine wine. Anya thinking big. Hubby, I hope you're listening to the live stream. Anya's dropping a hint there. Anyways, thank you guys. Still not paid over here. Nobody pays me. I love reading the conspiracy theories out there, though. It's nothing but little old me all by myself making my own DD in coordination with nobody. I heard these guys say, how is it that they all seem to have the same message? Probably because we're all reading the same filings, the ones you're not reading, you goofballs, you clowns. If you read the filings, no surprise that a disparate group of people might independently come to the same conclusion about what's going to happen. Nobody pays me. I don't confer with anybody. I don't share my DD with other YouTubers. I just come in here and give my raw opinion. Sometimes we get it right. Sometimes we get it wrong. We do the best we can. Use it as one of the tools in your box, but always do your own DD. And feel free to ask questions. I will always give you my honest opinion. And, if it helps you, great. If it doesn't, feel free to cast it aside and do your own thing. We're all here to learn, grow, share. You guys help me. as much as I help you. Appreciate you. Love you. We will see you on the next one. Keep your eyes out for maybe a surprise pop-up live stream later tonight.